This next project that you're going to be working on is a magazine cover. For this project, your challenge is to create a fictional magazine cover that looks authentic. So you're going to come up with your own title. You're going to come up with a photo for the background, and then different cover stories for the front of the article as well. And then we'll talk about how to piece all of those together in a program for your Chromebooks. But looking at this first example, you can see how there is the title of the magazine that is very creative. So the way that they put cut in this sort of film to fit with the director's cut theme was very creative to just kind of piece things together and tie the theme into the magazine cover. They also have some creative cover stories, and we'll look at what those are later as well. Here's a nice one where they cut out the background of the pizza so that they have just that drop shadow around the outside, so you can do some different sort of edits to whatever image you choose to put on the cover. You could even make your own image, so maybe you liked working with Gravit Designer and outlining pictures. Maybe you create your own image or add different drawings to it, like what we did for the Wacom project. Something else that's nice about this picture is the unity of it. So the unity of the magazine cover, where they have pizza that's orange, and then that same color is repeated, and same with the white as well. So there's not too much going on. It all fits together. And again, the way that they put that title together is creative. Instead of just writing the best and then pizza underneath, they space things out differently. And then here's another nice one. They're repeating color, it's unified. There's a creative picture to fit with the title. Same thing here. There's those colors being repeated, a creative title for it. So think about what type of magazine cover you want to create, and then think about different pictures that you could potentially take for your theme. But first of all, I want to look at what goes into a magazine cover. So what are all the different parts that you're going to be working with? So here's the basic layout of a magazine cover. Every cover is slightly different. So some places, a few of these, or some magazine covers, a few of these things might be kind of flipped around. But the first thing we're going to focus on is a masthead. And the masthead's basically a logo for the magazine. So we're going to spend the most time coming up with and creating your masthead, because this is a very important step for the overall cover to really come together. So it's typically the same every time it's published. It's very distinct, recognizable, and should be easily read and identified. So here's a few examples of mastheads that you've probably seen before. So they're all different types of fonts, different sizes, different colors. So there's a lot that goes into it that we'll look at. The second thing is the tagline or selling line. The tagline and selling line is something that usually goes either above or below the masthead. And it's just a little catchphrase about your magazine cover. So it's typically something that's concise, to the point, and it can also be about stories in the magazine. So this one, for example, is right underneath Modern Cat, and it says the lifestyle magazine for modern cats and their companions. So again, it's just a simple catchphrase. The date line is also either above or below the masthead, and that's pretty straightforward, just the month and then the year that the magazine cover is published. So this could be the current month and date. It could be something from the future, something from the past. So it just depends on when you want your magazine to be published. The main cover line is basically just the main story in your image. And then I also want to look at the main image as well, which is pretty straightforward. And then the two secondary cover lines we'll look at here too. But basically the main cover line here is the cover line or the text that is the largest besides the masthead. So Power Builder would be the main cover line. And then the two secondary cover lines are also found on the front of the magazine here, and they're the smaller text or the smaller font, but they're all basically just titles of the articles found inside of the magazine. which you obviously won't have to write the actual articles. You're just coming up with the titles of what type of stories you want the readers to see in your magazine. So they should be something eye-catching, something that will make people want to look at your magazine and buy it. And again, the main image is obvious, just something that's going to fit with your theme as well. Margin, we're going to work on making sure that there's this sort of margin around the outside of your image so that the text and pictures are not going off the page. So we want to line everything up at that margin. We'll be adding a barcode to the front, and then lastly, a bleed is where you are allowing your image to bleed off of the background and really fill the entire picture. So here is all those main parts in a magazine cover. So you can see the masthead at the top, fits from one side to the other. The selling line, the magazine about shopping and style. So something just simple, some sort of tagline. The cover lines, so you have your main one, 624, stands out the most here, so that's going to be the main cover line. So 624 ways to get the most out of your look. And then the 2 secondary cover lines, super affordable glamour, and then our famous diamond giveaway. You can also include more, so some magazines have more than just 3 cover lines, so consider adding more if you have the space in your picture. When you take pictures for this project, try to leave some space so that it's blank on the top, and then the sides as well, so that it's not overlapping too much of your picture. So that's important to think about, is taking a picture where that text isn't going to cover up too much. Then you have the barcode in the bottom right corner there. For your pictures, I want you to take 3 for this project. They can all be of the same thing. Just again, think about maybe moving the camera further back in some, maybe moving the camera to the side, so changing the orientation of the picture a little bit, but they should all be taken vertically. Next step is going to be brainstorming. Start thinking about what you want to call the magazine, what your cover stories will be, what will the side stories be, who or what will be on your magazine, and then what pictures do you need to take for your cover. There's going to be something for tomorrow for you to work on with brainstorming, but for now just start thinking about what you might want to do with this.